Hello, welcome to my channel, Living, Loving, and Learning Together. I am Crystal, and I am excited to share with everyone what I've put together as plans and resources in preparation for our next year of Classical Conversations, CC Cycle 2. Some of you all have asked if I would share this, and so I'm happy to share today what I have prepared for our coming year. I'll be sharing items directly from Classical Conversations, how I have organized the way that I'll be presenting this information with my kiddos here at home during our morning baskets and having our morning table time, and then of course other tools and resources like books and read alouds and reference books that we'll be using in the coming year. So if you are new here, welcome, and if you're interested in more information like this regarding classical conversation how-tos or just homeschooling in general, homemaking or mom life, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos like that. And now let's get into some CC Cycle 2 resources. All right, for starters, I have here the CC Foundations Guide. This is all you would need if you only had one thing. You could just have this and it would be a great CC year. I use this also as my planner, as the teacher and tutor for our home. And so I take my notes for my lesson planning in here, how I'm going to present each thing throughout the year. And then I also use in here, of course, the maps that are printed through here. And I will use a laminated version of the CC Cycle 2 map so that we can also trace the maps as we go throughout the year. This is great for memorization. At the back of these, we have proof sheets. I use the proof sheets regularly as we do review throughout the year. And then also as we're covering end of year review of what did we retain for the year. This is just full of all kinds of information and resources. So definitely CC Guide. The next thing, I want to move over here to the CC audio CDs for each cycle. The subject CD takes you through every subject that we're learning each week and by week. So you can do it by subject, and then it also breaks it down per week. We keep these in the car because as we're driving or going places and doing all of our tasks around the town, whether that's going grocery shopping or to and fro from dance practice or wherever, we can be doing school on the go. And as any of you all homeschoolers know, it's very convenient to be able to do things on the go. And that's part of the joy of having that flexibility with homeschooling. So we do keep these in the car. This other CD comes with timeline information, president songs, and other resources that we also use, other songs CC has provided to go along with what we're learning each week throughout the year. So we keep both of these in the car to use as a resource on the go. Number 3, we have the awesome CC timeline cards. These are such a win for our family. These are a series of history cards from creation to modern day history and the timeline of our history. And so what they have on each card is a picture of which point in the timeline you're studying, and then lots of information on the backside of that timeline card pertaining to the significance of that time in history as you're studying throughout the year. We use these every week as we're studying with CC. We use them for a basis as our history learning and then also as inspiration as we're doing geography. Usually for us, we use these during our morning basket time, but definitely a piece of our preparation for every cycle. Now, one thing that I will point out is my handy dandy little storage container here. My daughter made this. It's a house that has a lid, but I keep it in here because I like to be able to freely access the cards without having them in single dividers. I have seen that done by lots of people, and I think it's a great way to protect your cards, but we use these so often that I like to just be able to go in and take the 7 cards that we're working on for that week so that we can use them in class and then also here at home as we're studying. And so for me, this is easy to just be able to flip through, find the card that I need, and go from there. Then back here, I also have the president cards, which also on each card you have the presidents, 4 presidents on each card, and then on the back of that card, just like the history cards that I showed, on the back you have information on the details regarding each of those 4 presidents that are pictured on the front. So we use these every year as well. And then I have the science cards. I got these last year for CC Cycle 1. Haven't yet purchased them for Cycle 2, but these are also a great resource. They go through each of the different science facts that we're learning throughout the year, and again, give you all the facts for those different points on the back of each card. And they have great pictures that they provide with these cards. This is an awesome resource. Whether you homeschool with CC or not, these cards are amazing. All right, next up, I'm going to show you a little bit of how I have organized for the CC Cycle 2 year. I have here a binder that I put together as a tool to use as I'm presenting CC throughout the year to my kiddos in class. Basically a resource for me as the teacher. And I'll show you kind of how I've organized this and what all's inside. So we start out with some pledges to the flag, the Bible, and to the Christian flag. And the first part of my binder here is a memory flipbook of CC Cycle 2. And you can find this on CC Connected. One of my directors printed this for all the tutors a couple years back, and I decided to add that to the beginning of this. And what this flipbook is, you can open up to each page and it will show you the map that you're currently working on, and then all of the CC memory work information points that you're studying for that particular week. So you have your timeline, your English, your geography, history, science, Bible, multiplication or math section, you have your Latin, and it's all in one place so that as you're doing your school, you can flip through it and see it all at a glance. So we've got this in here for every week, all the way through week 24. What I've done for myself in here is anytime I have a paperclip, I know that I have attached additional resources that I will use when I present that throughout the year. So I've attached those behind so that I can easily glance at each of the flipbook pages, but then if I have additional resources, I've got it attached there. So we've got this for every week throughout the year, weeks 1 through week 24. We will be using this at the table after morning basket when we come to the table and we gather to review our CC for the week. So we will go through the songs that we've learned, exactly the method that we've learned it, and we'll review it that way. And we'll use the same resources that were presented in class or that are consistent with what we're doing as the family. And so we'll use this here at the table in conjunction with the workbooks that I've put together for each of the kiddos. Okay, so the next thing in this particular binder are a Bible tab, we've got math helps, we've got some fridge facts, plans, book lists, and matchups. So the next tab is Bible. This is a printout of things that we'll be studying each week for Cycle 2 for Bible. I've seen this in the guide for each cycle, but haven't seen it included as part of Community Day memory work. That just wasn't something that was presented to me. So for the last 3 years, I haven't. But this year, I would really like to make this a priority for our family. And so we're going to be making sure that every week we're going to be going through all of these Bible references and learning those as well as a family. And for Cycle 2, we all remember together Genesis chapter 1. And so I have all of those verses broken down here by week so that we can focus on each of the memory verses that we're working on for that week. And then on the next page, I have references to these Bible portions that we're studying each week, Judges to Jesus. And this was on CC Connected by Lisa C. And she's just put pictures to each week and the title and the memory facts that we're remembering for that Bible study. So I've got all 24 weeks of her pictures, so as we study them, I can show this to my girls as a reference as we're going through it each week. On the next page, during our Bible learning for CC, we're going to be doing some of these character studies. This is another resource that I actually found right on CC Connected by Bethany Britton, and she's got just character traits and then little things to keep in mind as you're learning about that particular character trait. So we'll be adding that into our lessons during our morning time at the table. All right, and then on our next page, I have here our math tab. And so the first thing that I have in here is just all these that I've created for all of our math formulas. Starting after we skip count the 15s, we get into math formulas with area and so forth for geometry. So these are all of the cardstocks and things that I've created throughout the years that I will reuse as we're presenting those formulas. I just keep them all in one place right here in this tab for math. All right, here I've just got a basic multiplication table. This is on CC Connected by Clay Crone, and more resources that I've put together that we'll use as helps for math throughout the year. And next tab we have is for fridge facts, and this is another CC Connected resource. As we go throughout the year and we're learning all of our memory facts, one of the things that we do in our house is post every week at a glance somewhere where the kids can read it and see it and just refer to it throughout the weeks and days. And so I love this particular one because it comes with great pictures, it's colorful, and very easy to read as you're at the fridge or wherever it's posted. And so there's one of these for each week, and then I will just change it out into this page protector and post it each week as we go. Then we have a tab for plans. Here I've just got a daily schedule for how we'll be going about learning our CC throughout each week. And I'll fill that in as I get closer to the details of how we'll be covering each week. But this is by Chrissy Renee on CC Connected. You can collect all kinds of plans and ideas. Just type in planning sheets or plans into the CC Connected search and you will be amazed at all the different resources you can find. Some of them are templates that are left blank like this so that you can fill it out. If you're a tutor, you can fill it out, or just even if you're just teaching it at home, it gives you blank fields. There's many different versions of different planning sheets that you can print out to help your planning process go more smooth throughout the year. This particular one is from Liz Hudson on CC Connected. I have here just a quick list of ideas to do reviewing and presenting and memory work, and this is by Abby G. Jertson on CC Connected. So this is just a whole section of things that will help me as I'm planning throughout the year. All right, so the next thing that I have here is a tab for book lists. I've gone through CC Connected. You can also find great book lists on places like Pinterest, Facebook for CC, and even Half a Hundred Acre Wood is another website that has great resources for things like this. But this is from Anna Taylor on CC Connected, and it is a book list that just shows picture books and as they relate to each of the different subjects that we go through throughout the year. This next page is an amazing matchup by C.E. Klein 727 on CC Connected, but it contains matchups for everything from the timeline cards to the story of the world books, Usborne books, everything you need to know about homework. It has matchups for history and science. So this is a huge helpful resource for Cycle 2. This is another book list that I'm excited to use. This one has recommendations for essentials and then the Who Was series. This is by R. Norwood on CC Connected. And then the last book list that I printed out, which is just some of many that are on CC Connected. So I do encourage you to check that out. But this is a matchup from MJ Filson 1023 for matchups with the story of the world for Cycle 2. All right, so our last tab in this binder is for matchups. And so here I've got a Eat Your Geography matchup, and this is by R. Norwood as well. And basically what they've done is given you the different geography types and then the history and then also science. And so it tells you just food ideas of things to eat for those different things for Cycle 2. So I thought that was kind of fun. And then this is also from C.E. Klein 727 on CC Connected, but this is another amazing matchup. This is for video matchups for Netflix, YouTube, Amazon Prime, and then some games. And then I have another Netflix extension video matchup here, and then it talks about the biblical worldview on this side and how that applies. And then over here I have several matchups for Indescribable, the devotional by Louis Giglio. And so I have this one by R. Norwood. And then this one is for all 3 cycles. So I'll be, of course, using the cycle 2 portion. This one is by E.B. Phillip. And then this one is for hands-on science. So some of the projects that we'll be doing and experiments that we'll be doing throughout the year. And this is by Aiden Ham. So all of these resources, again, found on CC Connected. They are great. There are other options there available. These are the ones that I happen to choose for our CC year. And as we get closer to the start of the year, I will be going to the library and collecting some of these library book matchups so that we can use them for each week. And then as well, I'll be making plans at the beginning of each week or before each week for videos that we want to watch, matchups and things like that that we can include into our weekly study of memory work subjects and topics. All right, next is our workbooks that I put together for each of the girls. At the start of the year, we'll have them decorate this page. This is also from a CC Connected user of Workbooks, but they can write their name in here and then decorate the binder side and the front of their own binders to make it their own. So I have 2 different versions here because I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old who are doing CC this year. And so I have one version for our oldest who is 8. And so this will contain worksheets that she can do throughout the year that are geared for her age level. So it starts out with week 1. And the way that I have this organized is that she'll have one set of worksheets for each week, and so we'll put numbers in these tabs for weeks 1 through 6, and then we'll update it every 6 weeks. So as just a small reference of what's included in each of these, this is by Mars 913 on CC Connected, by the way. So it starts out with a review of what we're learning in math, and then it lets them go ahead and jot that down themselves. Then on the next page, we go into Latin, complete with pictures and reminders that they can write in themselves. And then we have color pages for science. Each week is different, but I love that she includes these fun elements and great visuals. Then we've got English, where they have some copy work to do, complete with the definitions of each next to it. Then we have crossword puzzles. She's got different games that she includes each week for the different subjects, which this is fun. This is just perfect for our 8-year-old. Timeline, we've got history. I love that she includes cursive here because this year we did start to incorporate learning cursive for our 8-year-old. And so this will be perfect for her to be able to practice what she's been learning. And then, of course, geography. And so we've got that for each week. She's got a header page for each week. And right now it's all through week 6 here. And then like I said, we'll update that. Later on into the weeks, I do love that she has included some fine arts pieces. So she gives you the breakdown of fine arts, and then on the next page, it gives the kids a chance to go ahead and work that out on their own. And she's done that for the last 3 weeks that we have fine arts. It's really cool what she's put together in here. So we're excited to get into these workbooks. As a grand finale on week 6, she has put together a culmination of all that they've learned regarding their oils, which is the basic foundations of art that we study every year with CC. And so she kind of explains that all the things that we've learned through the last 6 weeks, mirror images, abstract, and then she gives them a way to bring that all together in one page and to include those elements on their own. So I've put this into a separate sheet protector so that we can put this on display for her once she's finished completing this project. And I'm excited to see that done. And then I printed out from CC Connected this project for the end of our 6 weeks after we've studied so much of the geography and history of Europe, or at least gotten into a lot of it. This is a fun facts project to put together for Europe, and we'll do the same for some of the other areas that we're studying. But I found this on CC Connected by Sirvin, so S. Irvin. And I love it because it has basic information about the country that you're studying, draw the flag, list some fun facts, and then it makes it fun. You write the country and who's the travel agent. That would be your kiddo, right? And then you have foods to try, places to visit there, and sights to see. So that gives them just a way to document all the things, all the fun things that they've learned as they've studied throughout the year. And then on the last page, I just have a history matchup with prompt words, also from CC Connected, Mill Danielle on CC Connected. So these are all some fun things that we're looking forward to as we do our table work together each week. So my younger daughter, she's got her own Cycle 2 book, and hers is more geared to ages 5 to 7, and I liked that. This is from CC user CC Hodges Family 5, and I love this because it comes with lots of great pictures that can be colored. It's not a lot of copy work because, again, this is for the young ones, and so they don't have as many pages per week, but it does cover each subject. So math, and she's got you put in dots into each of the places. Here she's got you jumping your pencil as you skip count the twos, matching the days of creation to the pictures that they go with. Then they always have a geography where they match up numbers or colors with a key. And then you have your English, and this is copy work here. But as you can see, not nearly as much as it was for my 8-year-old. And then you have your Latin, and she tells you how to sing it, and then she gives you fun pictures to match it up with. For timeline, she's having you put them in the correct order by number. And that is a complete week of how they've put together for this workbook for ages 5 to 7. Now this comes as a mini workbook, so I did have to go through and enlarge these so that I could make it big enough for her to complete in her workbook as she's going through it together with her sister and I at the table each week. But I definitely thought it was worth it because it makes things big enough for her to do and see really well. So I'll just give you a quick look through of some of the other tabs. Every week you have your title of what week you're on. I love how she includes these pictures through the history statement. And then you have other pictures for science, a lot of matching. But as you can see here, she's definitely geared it to be fun and doable for the little ones. And I think that my 5-year-old, who will be 6th mid through next year, she will love going through this workbook. So that is all 6 weeks of our workbook that we had, and there she is saying hi, of our workbook that we'll be doing for CC Cycle 2. So let's get into some of these books that we have. So the first one, let's just go straight to the Indescribable. This is an amazing devotional that is put out by Louis Giglio, and it's devotions for kids that are related to science and God and how they go together. And so a lot of those matchups that I showed you earlier were matchups that are related to what we're learning that week and how it applies to these devotions by devotion. So it tells you what page and then the subject that each devotion is talking about. These devotions are great. They're really short read, starting with a verse, and then you come down, you've got great pictures, and then they always talk about a section of be amazed. So they share some kind of a cool fact that maybe you wouldn't typically know. They are funny, they have great pictures, they're not too long, but packed into this one page is a ton of information. So this is a great devotional. Next, we will be doing lots of reading aloud during our morning basket, and or sometimes it may be afternoon basket, just depending on what we need for that day. But our next thing that I want to share here is this Old World Echoes. They have a New World Echoes. They have 3 versions of this that line up with each cycle in CC. But basically, this is a compilation of stories, poems, great stories that apply to each week of CC. So it's a great thing to have as a read aloud. They've got pictures throughout it. And then at the top, it even tells you on week 2, and then it gives you several different stories within week 2 that you can read, either at bedtime, at your morning basket time. This is a great resource, is because there are so many stories jam-packed into one book that all are related to the things that you are studying in that given year. So you could just have this one book and not even need to go to the library for tons of different books. If you just had this would cover a lot of ground. So this is definitely one of my favorite resources for CC. All right, next up, we've got books by subject. So whenever we do geography for our morning basket, we typically use one of our atlases for the world. And so I've got here some books that we'll be going through as we cover our timeline cards, as we cover geography and those kind of things. We'll be using these atlases. I love atlases for children because they have so many pictures. They give you fun facts and details about the area that you're studying right there on one page in a way that is fun and visually exciting for the kiddos. So we use these generally at morning basket with our timeline cards to cover geography and history together. And so these are some of our favorites. So we've got this golden atlas for children. And we have the Beginner's World Atlas. This one is really big, and I like it because it does have lots of great pictures as you start each section for whatever area you're looking at on the map. And then it gives you a great typographical map showing the lay of the land, talks about the land, water, climate, animals, etc. And then it takes you into the people. This is a great one. This is the Beginner's World Atlas. And then another one that we use, and yes, we do use all 3 of these depending on what we're looking for. They give you different information. So this one is great because this is the Illustrated World Atlas. So once again, you're looking at, first, it gives you the header of the area that you're studying, and then it takes you into just some facts about that, statistics, and then as you go forward, it tells you about the land, farming, nature, industries there, what life might be like living there. And so this is another great atlas. So we use these with our morning time. Another great book that we will use as we're studying new places and cultures is this book called People. I love this book because it just shows all of our differences all around the world, but also our similarities. And so it really shows that we are all humans, humankind, but we're not all exactly the same. So it gives you some facts about humans and then how we're different. How we all have children, but maybe we carry them differently. We all have different eye shapes, eye colors, body shapes and colors. This book has been an amazing introduction of diversity and culture and just showing what the world is like all around the world. And it's a great resource to include as we're learning about different countries and places that we have not yet visited and seen and experienced with our own eyes, hands, and feet. So talks about different cultural holidays and feasts and lots of different things that are included in this book. This is called People, and it is written and illustrated by Peter Spear. So that's some of the things that we will use for geography and history. Then moving on to science, I have here our first big book of science. This relates to lots of things that we will be covering through science. This year we are learning a lot about the solar system. We're learning about ecosystems and things like that. And so many of the pages in here will relate to all those kind of things that we're learning as we go throughout the year. So we'll reference that. We also have here a space sticker book, just has stickers that you can take off and put throughout the book. As you can see, we started this book last year, but we'll also use it this year. And then we have the Usborne Illustrated Encyclopedia, the Natural World. So this has everything from information regarding the animals to the different ecosystems that we're going to be studying this year. We'll be learning about producers, consumers, land biomes, aquatic biomes, and so this has a lot of that in there, as well as this, got this from Costco. This is Brilliant Nature, but it takes you through lots of that information as well. Trees, plants, how things work on our planet in these different ecosystems, and great visuals, great pictures, and then throwing in small but very interesting and significant facts along the way. So these are some of the resources that we are going to be using in this year, in addition to the books that we'll get each week from the library to supplement our morning basket reading and read aloud time. And let's see. This is another resource that I got for this year regarding space, since we'll be learning a lot about space, the universe, and the solar system. This is from Costco, and these kits, just in general, are amazing. They are wonders of learning, and in here, in this one box, it has a reference book, sticker books, a wall chart, glow-in-the-dark shape stickers, and then it came complete with a model solar system that we built the first year that we did cycle 2. So we will go through this, use that solar system that we built again this year, possibly even get another one and rebuild the solar system. But it came with these little models that you paint, and let's see if I can get that to focus. You paint them yourself. It comes with the paints and everything, but you paint them and then you set up the model. And during the year, we have this sitting on display, and it shows how the distance from each of the planets to the other planet. Sorry, we've taken this apart to put it away, and also my daughter got to it and broke some, so we've got to fix some of those. But on there, on each of the little strands, it shows, if you can look closely, it shows the distance of each of the planets from the sun right there. And this is a very cool resource. So this came with this space book as well, which was another great resource as we were learning about the solar system and having questions about stars and the sun and all these things. We were able to use these great pictures that really went into detail about each of the planets and how our solar system works. So, and this also came with a fun sticker book that we were able to use as we went through learning about the solar system as well. Came with stickers, games, all kinds of things. So this is a great resource as we study space and the solar system this year for cycle 2. And next up, I just have these cool science books that I got from the $3, $1 section at Target. But basically, it's just a little science journal for the kids to go through as they're doing all of their science experiments for the year, and just write down their own notes and thoughts and pictures and details of what they are learning as they go through the experiments on community days and here at home. So I got a few of those to go through. And then I have here a science book that has all of the different science information sheets from CC user Nicole Liam on CC Connected. If you have not checked her out for science, her resources are incredible. She starts out each lesson with just a general breakdown of what you're learning for that week, gives you a discussion guide for going through the scientific method. Then over here, she gives you how what you're studying relates to what you've already learned in the year up to that point, or what's coming and which week that is on. And then it gives you a full breakdown of understanding that science concept. And then on the back, she always provides really cool pictures that relate to what you're learning. So we've got these for weeks 1 through 24. And over here, I have just got a few maps and things that we will use throughout the year. We use every cycle a little blow-up globe that you can use as you're doing games, singing songs, or just learning about which geography place you're studying that week. These are great to have on hand. And then one of the things that we use throughout the year, this is all colored on and not looking its finest at the moment, but this is a lap board. And what I did was I found, I think it was at Hobby Lobby, a sticker map of the world. I chose this one because in addition to all of the countries being labeled, it shows all the bodies of water and then the rivers as well, which we'll be learning a lot of this year in Cycle 2. It's nice having this on hand for times we want to do school anywhere other than the table, like the couch, outside, or any other cozy place in the house. All right, so that is all that I have planned to share for CC Cycle 2 resources for this video. I hope that you've been able to take away some ideas as you're planning in the days and weeks ahead. If you have liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have questions or additional resources that you would love to share with other parents who are in the planning process, please do share those in the comments because we can all glean from those. And thank you for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.